Broken Beyond Repair. Chapter 1, From Foxy's Point of View. Sun filtered through the small window of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and signaled the start of a new day. Packed with screaming children, the annoying songs of toy animatronics, and the voices of parents talking amongst themselves. Noise. That's what Foxy hated the most. The noise. For a whole 10 hours. He also hated the fact that all the new animatronics got the attention when the old ones were just thrown into the parts and service room, just to rot. But there was one toy animatronic that Foxy didn't hate. The sound of people entering the restaurant brought Foxy out of his thoughts. He sighed deeply to himself, and the shouts and screams began to echo through the restaurant yet again. Foxy glanced at old Freddy to see he was stirring about. The big brown bear stayed silent, though, only flashed a bored glance towards Foxy, and then the old Bonnie, and then the old Chica. Foxy let his gaze travel to the underside of the door from the parts and service room. Since there was nothing to do during the day but listen to kids scream, he sometimes busied himself by watching shadows move around from under the door. He couldn't see anything but the shadows, but it kept him occupied for a little bit. Until the restaurant closed, that is. That's when fun actually started. Then old Chica stirred and lifted her head. Her arms stuck out at both of her sides permanently, making it difficult to move. But the yellow chicken had learned to live with the circumstances. Same scenario with her broken beak. Her voice box malfunctioned slightly as she spoke to Foxy. "What cha-ching people again, I see." Her violet blue eyes blinked softly at Foxy as he turned his attention to old Chica. "Yeah," he answered, quietly, and turned back to the door, watching the shadows plain gray. Here's a small piece from Mangle's point of view. Ouch! The child, around 4 years old, pulled on one of her fingers too hard and it came off. Mangle tried to stay as still as possible and forced the urge to kill the child away. "We do not harm children. We do not harm children." She heard the voice of Golden Freddy in her head every day before the restaurant opened. The tattered old golden animatronic would remind everyone those two sentences before disappearing to who knows where. It was hard to follow those simple rules sometimes. Crunch. The boy placed Mangle's broken finger back on her, but in the wrong place. The white finger with the pink nail polish now sat next to her pink bow. This is the worst job ever. Mangle sighed silently as another pair of hands reached into the tangle of the wires and poked and pinched at him. What would happen if they got shocked by my wires? Mangle felt a wave of amusement wash over her for a second as the second kid let out a surprised shout and quickly withdrew their sticky hands from her wires. It wasn't long before sadness fell over Mangle once again as a third pair joined in. The third child, however, was not much of a child. It was a teenager. He seemed to be maybe 15, 16. "Hey, you," he patted the young boy who had broken her finger. "Please move." The child looked up in surprise, hesitantly moved away so the teen could sit down. Mangle felt the boy's large hands gently play with her wires and along her endoskeleton. Mangle wondered why the teenager was interested in her. Then she realized it. He was fixing her. He picked up the finger by her bow and placed it back onto her correct spot. His fingers worked around the tanglement of the wires and fixed them up. Mangle felt hope wash over her. Would she be fixed at last? Unfortunately, odds were not in her favor. An adult approached the boy and poked his shoulder. "Jace, what are you doing?" It seemed to be his mother. "Just fixing this robot. She doesn't deserve to be kept like this," the teenager exclaimed. Jace replied softly and kept his fingers running along the wires. The mother frowned at her son. "Jace, it's a robot. It's not your decision to go around and change things. That's the staff's job." Jace shook his head. "It seems to be the staff doesn't care too much for her. I should do something." His mom cut him off instantly. "Never mind that dumb robot." She shook her head at her son. "Come on, Mike is on his own at the stage. He needs you to watch him. We'll be leaving soon." But Mom, Jay scowled at his mother, but followed her anyways, his hand trailing along Mangle's head before rushing to his mother's side. Just like that, Mangle's hope was shattered once again.